Radiant team ban.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. As mentioned, we have game number 1 of our semifinals, our first semifinals that'll be taking place now. And it's between Pries Gaming, a team that we just saw defeat TFT 2-1. They're taking on Vega Squadron, a team out of Group B. So on our stream, we actually haven't got to see them yet, but they were the first place seed out of Group B. So certainly expecting some good plays out of them. Off the bat, I will say this Vega Squadron roster, it's a bit different one than previous ones, of course. I'm not very familiar with most of their players. J4 stands out. Everyone else, I'm really not too sure. But hey, first place out of Group B. So clearly, again, good players. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Hasbaz once again. Welcome back, Hasbaz. Excited for another best of the 3 now.
Yeah, I am, and I think it's exactly as you say. You know, this Vega Squadron, I think they're a fairly new side that's come together. We haven't seen them in any of the previous qualifiers. I think they were in the opens and they, you know, never unsuccessfully weren't able to make it out because those open qualifiers are very, very tough to get out of. But yeah, first place seed from the other group, besting teams like Singularity. So probably a real team to watch, and we're going to get to see what they are capable of here against Pries, because this is a team we followed their journey, and they seem to really enjoy playing 4 Protect 1 and putting everything on the back of V2, really.
Yeah. That seems to be their go-to strategy, and I'm certainly expecting that here in Game 1, or throughout the series perhaps, from them. But I don't want to jinx anything. I'm sure it is going to be banned.
No! You haven't jinxed it, and will Vega go for the Mars?
I didn't jinx it. Come on, Vega. They're sitting here like, wait a second. Does anyone know how to play this hero? It's like, oh, wait, we have a chance to play Mars, a new hero on Captain's Mode. So, do we pick it? I don't know. Yeah, this is, okay, they're not going to pick it themselves. They go Oracle as a first hero. So, as I was saying before, I mean, Mars isn't like, to me, is not some ridiculously overpowered hero. I get why teams are banning him because he is new and everything, but I don't see that necessarily with the hero. He is very strong, and I do think he's worthy being picked up, absolutely. But damn it, I just want to see him. Let's go.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think some of the real strength of Mars is he's very good in lane, and just that massive AoE area control that he's able to give you, you know, force people to fight inside the arena is just so nice for you. But we see Pries, they've done this once before. They take the silencer into the Oracle. They think it's a good enough counter, and it apparently was in that first game.
So they pick the silencer. And now the second pick, who else do they go? Thinking into the Oracle is kind of interesting because obviously, yes, the global silence fantastic against a hero like Oracle, but we have seen some plays before where if you're on point expecting that ultimate from silencer and you throw out the Fortune's End on yourself just in time, then all of a sudden you'll not be silenced and then good to go. So we'll see whoever plays the Oracle this time around, if they're going to be able to be on top of that. Doom is the pick, though, from Pries Gaming to go along with the silencer. So they really want to make sure that they have silence taken care of this game, because they definitely have that with both of these heroes.
Yeah, Doom is a hero who we've, you know, we saw a whole bunch of him last patch. We were seeing him banned consistently into this patch. So it's interesting he's got through, but the side of Vega, it looks like they realized that Pries, they really love this Grimstroke hero.
5 seconds.
So they've got rid of it and let the Doom through. But Doom, obviously a very powerful offlaner, still very tanky, has that inbuilt regen. So I'm curious to see if Vega have an answer for it.
All right. So Mars made it through the first 2 picks on either side. Troll Warlord, the pick for Vega Squadron coming out with the core option. He's not necessarily as scared, I suppose, of silences specifically, especially when he gets a BKB. So maybe why they're confident with it. But now are we going to see the Mars ban? I go back to, I mean, Pries Gaming already has Doom. Now, Doom doesn't have to be offlane. Could be a position 3 or position 4, excuse me. And that goes back to Mars. Honestly, I guess we don't really know exactly where to expect Mars if being picked up. It's a hero that seems like an offlane hero to me, but you could run him support, and I guess there's an argument to be made, maybe even as a position 1 as a carry of sorts. So,
yeah,
we're talking.
One thing I do want to point out is that Doom is a lot worse. His nerf really affected him in the 4 position. because in the forward position, your job was to get one of those really good creeps to affect your lane, and you're not able to get any of those good creeps until you're, I think, level 2 Devour. You can start getting level 4 creeps, but you really want something like that, that Hellbear, and I think that requires you to have 3 points in the Devour. So 4th position Doom is really what received a big nerf here.
So Pries Gaming deciding whether they want to run him. Also what they want a 5th ban after the Dark Willow ban comes out. So again, that has to be one of those maybe player-specific bans. Like I said, I'm not very familiar with this Vega Squadron roster much, so can't say for sure, but I would assume that's the reason for that ban. Beastmaster also thrown out. Beastmaster has been in synergy with a Chen, especially very good. We've had a couple of teams show us that. In fact, Chen is not banned, now that I mentioned that. An option maybe for either team, but they probably also really have their position 5 heroes as well, so probably
10
not.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, I don't think there's anywhere else you want the Oracle. But yeah, Beastmaster, I'm surprised at his resurgence. Obviously, you know, he is a very solid hero, does decently in lanes because he has those summons, offers you a lot of vision as well as a solid ultimate. And I guess at this moment in time, because the patch, it does still feel like it's very fast. You know, we've only seen 3rd Roshans in a very small percentage of our games because they feel like they end earlier. That in a Beast Aura just enables you to push and finish games.
I'm just sitting here patiently waiting because I don't want to just talk about Mars when he might not even get picked up, to be fair. But the fact that this is the first time that he hasn't been banned in all the series that we've been casting between yesterday and now today, so it's exciting to at least theorycraft about it. IO, by the way, there's another event going on. It's VP versus Spirit, I believe. It's a whole best of 5 thing going on. There's that LAN happening. And IO was picked up in the first game of that series. I happened to just check in as we're on the break there. So IO has his first official game post 7.22. I believe VP played it, and they did win the first game. So take that how you will.
I mean, IO, it's inherently built into the hero, right? He's just makes whatever carry he's tethered to just so damn strong, and global presence is always never something to be underestimated. It's why people, you know, love the Nature's Prophet and that kind of thing. And IO is, you know, he eventually they'll get him to a point where he's not first ban material, but I understand why teams are still very afraid with him. And here's a hero we saw in our first game of the day. Wasn't successful on the Spirit Breaker, but obviously received a whole bunch of buffs and is very nice against both these squishy 5 positions.
Mm-hmm. And I'm also looking at a hero that synergies very well with Spirit Breaker is that Darkseer. Darkseer not banned yet, and I hate to say it, but that means probably why I can see Mars for Vega Squadron at least, if that's the case. But Darkseer does feel pretty good for Vega Squadron right now, so it certainly would be a good buff for Troll as well. So it's that's one that I'm eyeing for them to potentially pick up as their 4th pick to come.
Yeah, especially when they're the ones who have picked the Oracle themselves. Obviously, you wouldn't pick a Darkseer into the Oracle, but, you know, you've either picked or banned it. It means it's not there. The only thing that's really great against the Darkseer then is the Enchantress. And, yeah, they've already got both their supports very clearly here from the side of Pries. But they go back for the Unshock Storm Turret. This was a real treat in the last game we saw it.
Yeah, that wasn't the previous series, wasn't it? It was the game 1. If I remember correctly, of that series, where certainly Pries Gaming looked very good in it. So picked up here in the 4th spot, and there is the Darkseer from Vega Squadron. It almost seemed inevitable. Just good synergy, and it's not like a Storm Spirit would change that idea for some reason. The wall's not necessarily great this game so far, so that was a one maybe question mark of picking up a Darkseer. It's like you're not really getting a lot of value out of the wall, but Surge, everything else is going to be very powerful this time around.
Yeah, I don't think Darkseer's ever like really picked because of his wall. Maybe if you're against an anti-mage and you want that illusion or a Medusa, those are the 2 heroes who I can think of prime for it. But most of the time, you know, it's for what he does in lane. It's the early things he's able to achieve with that Iron Shell, and it's the push that he's able to give you because he'll give you a lot of sustain with the Guardian Greaves and other items that he builds. But again, the side of Pries, they go for this Storm Spirit. I think they really like it versus the Oracle just because, you know, you're able to get that jump into the back line. And Vega, they don't have that much lockdown as well. Another thing they might have noted.
Yeah, that's true. The lockdown is lacking. Certainly, Oracle's Fortune's End, of course, can be good against Storm Spirit, but it does have that travel time. Spirit Breaker, again, solid, but somewhat RNG-based. Troll Warlord, RNG-based. So, as I mentioned before, that wasn't the turn. He was like kind of half-assed crowd control against Storm Spirit. It really is a lot of similarities this time around from Vega Squadron. But we are going to see another Spirit. We're going to see the Ember Spirit for Vega to finish it off, as what will likely be a mid-Ember Spirit. So Ember versus a Storm in that mid matchup. That should be fun to see. Priest, their safe lane hero, likely to be the last pick. And so I'm sure we're going to see Mars. No, probably not.
I mean, the carry Mars was something people did try out initially early on. Sadly, I don't think we're going to see it, but I think we should talk about this Ember Spirit versus Storm Spirit, because I've had long talks with Wingblade about this at length. He's a high MMR mid player, and he really sees both heroes as kind of countering the other, because Storm Spirit, obviously, he's able to get that catch for the Ember Spirit, but Ember Spirit, he has that Sleight of Fist steering chains, so they're able to catch each other. They both have a lot of mobility, so the Ember Spirit is helping a little bit with lockdown that they were lacking for the side of Vega.
Ooh, interesting Lifestealer pickup. V-Tune, the one to play it here for Priest Gaming. It's kind of a mixed Lifestealer game for me. It's great against a hero like an Ember Spirit and Darkseer even, but it's not as powerful against heroes like Spirit Breaker and even the Troll Warlord. So it's a bit of hit or miss. And I'm also looking at Priest Gaming's lineup. This is not your typical 4-1 strategy. Certainly Storm Spirit, you expect him to have high impact. Undershock have a lot of value here when it comes to him playing a core role. So it will be a change of pace for them too when it comes to their draft as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, we saw how they like to play around this Undershock Storm. Most of the time they like to play around V-Tune. They like this 4-protect 1, but when they're able to get a great Storm game, as I'm pretty sure it's pretty damn good for Undershock, they know he can hit those really good timings. He's very good at playing to the limit of the hero. Lots of times when we see him at the end of the fight, he's managed to kill everyone, but he's out of mana. That's kind of perfect because you've played it, you've calculated it exactly right. You haven't ran out of mana and then got killed. You've managed to get all the kills. So he's very good on this hero. He's good at setting up the kills properly. And I think the Lifestealer, although I really do not like it into the Troll Warlord, you do have the power of that Infest Bond, and I think he should be able to hit a kind of similar timing with the Storm Spirit, but I think we might see a Radiance build this game.
Yep, that's a high potential itself, but still, even with the Radiance build, no matter what the build is, that Infest Bomb certainly still stands. On a hero like Storm Spirit, there is great synergy there between the two cores, so certainly going to take advantage of that. And Undershock setting up to, of course, be in that middle lane. Doom, Rasta headed towards the bottom. And Lifestealer, of course, going top with the Silencer for now. So, and setup seemed pretty expected for the side of Priest Gaming early on. Vega, they're doing something a little sneaky here. 3 heroes mid lane currently, hiding in the trees, maybe hoping for somebody to go into the river, perhaps Lifestealer even. Maybe attempting to counter ward.
They already have the Iron Shell over on the Spirit Breaker. They are very ready, just hoping someone goes over here to check whether there's a high ground ward. And it looks like V-Tune is going to do exactly that.
There he goes. This is exactly what they wanted. Now the Iron Shield's worn off by now, of course. Fortune's End takes a while to get there. So the root happens. Spirit Breaker, he went bash level 1 as well, so kind of just hoping for the RNG, but not really getting one. Lifestealer dances away. That's what they wanted, but can't really capitalize with it.
Yeah, the Lifestealer, probably the worst of the heroes to find. He's just a very tanky hero all in general, and V-Tune, he's probably going to go back to base and heal before he TPs to his lane.
So bounty runes being picked up, and Vega's going to get 3 of the 4 bounty runes. Last hero is just up here, is completely empty. He's all right, I'll take both the bounty runes for free, no big deal. He does just that. He's going to go into the lane now and start applying the Ion Shell. So Screen's making his way up there on Silencer, and of course Lifestealer healing up back at base. He's not TPing yet. I guess they're waiting to see how the lanes are set up, and they realize it is Darkseer top, so just send Lifestealer to the top lane and let him attempt to last hit up here against this combo.
I guess that is a point we didn't really talk about. Lifestealer does lane pretty decently against the Darkseer. No, he's not really going to have any problems. Yeah, already level 1 in the feast, and that does mean he has enough sustain to deal with these iron shells. So I guess they just want solid lanes to come out for them, and then eventually, when this Storm Spirit and this Doom have their ultimates, they'll look to make rotations and get kills going for the side of Pries.
Arcane's curse is up. Screen harassing as much as he can against these two. But Lifestealer, of course, again, just tanking underneath the tower, as you usually see with the Darkseer matchup. Attempting to get those last hits in there. Undershock has the creep wave behind his own tower, in between tier 1 and tier 2, and gets some nice last hits with that. He's 7-1 right now against the 5-1 Ember Spirit currently, make it 6-1, so seems to be very back and forth with the mid matchup currently here in this game.
Yeah, it looks like they tried to manipulate the creep equilibrium to deal with the pull that the Shadow Shaman has going on, but sadly they have ended up under the tower.
Doom, he's off on the side. He devours the ghost there. He does have a frost attack as a result. So this is that nerf coming into play though. You only get a level 3 creep at level 1 devour, so you got to be a little creative sometimes. Not the most ideal, but it's honestly not too bad either. We were even discussing it kind of forces you to be a little more creative, and some of the smaller creeps do provide some fun things. So we'll have the frost attack for now, so he has a bit of a slow.
Silencer in the top lane is going to be fun.
Yes, he is.
Basically, he just got walked down by the Iron Shell with the Spirit Breaker. With the 1 point in the Surge, there was just no way he was getting away from the Spirit Breaker, and finishes it off with the Lucky Bash as well. Just to add hurt to injury, insult to injury.
Well, good pursue there, making that kill happen. 1-0 start for Vega Squadron now. As Trollwhirler bottom lane, he's 11-3, Doom 5-0, so Troll certainly having the much better of that. In that bottom matchup at least, and kind of going on different targets. Is he dead again? Oh, well, he's being run down again, but yeah, he is. Bash proc hits, and he really can't do a damn thing. And this does kind of go back to, I mentioned it from the previous series with the Silencer pick. It's just like, the landing phase, and just doesn't have a stun, and he, this can happen.
Yeah, they're doing a much better job than the final tribe did, though, in abusing the Silencer with these two heroes. They're correctly realizing that the Silencer's the weak one. He's the one you're going to be able to pick off. You can't really pressure this Lifestealer. He'll be just fine, already a point in rage, a point in the open wounds as well as feast. He has enough regen to be able to sustain this, but the one you will be able to abuse is the Silencer, and that means he's not even returning to this top lane.
Yeah, says he's had enough. Instead, he is heading towards the bottom, so trying to turn this into a bit of a trial lane, I guess. Down here, we'll see if they can make a play, go for a kill with the rotation. In fact, Trollwhirler is pushing up pretty far. He could be in trouble. He does have the slow again from Doom. And that frost attack. Silencer throwing out the curse. There's the shackles. Couple of auto attacks to follow. Zani still running though, popping the rolling axes. Good job with the root from Oracle, but it is not enough. The chase is successful. V-Tune goes down at the top lane though during that. So, well, what? That was a Darkseer solo kill onto the Lifestealer.
Well, I saw the Spirit Breaker. He was sticking around up there, and I guess they just saw the Silencer bottom and they correctly realized what is going on top. They know V-Tune's by himself, and with only 1 point in the range, those double iron shells are still going to stack up and take you down.
Okay. So Spirit Breaker was up there. Okay.
Yes, and then he charged to the Storm Spirit.
That makes more sense. Yeah, it's just a solo kill for Darkseer is just insane. But with Spirit Breaker, of course, more logic to it. But yeah, then he charged away, assist elsewhere. But 4-1 start for Vega Squad, a very fast start, and especially for this Darkseer. He is top in the net worth chart early on, no surprise. And 5-minute bounty runes, in fact, coming out too. They're ready to be picked up at the top lane, but bottom bounty runes will be picked up by Priest Gaming. Silencer's there for that.
I just honestly, I'm so impressed in what Vega have been able to achieve with this duo, because honestly, when we saw the final tribe run it, the Darkseer as well as Spirit Breaker, it looked a tiny bit underwhelming. Sure, they were able to get 1 or 2 kills early on, but nothing like what So Bad and Last Hero have been able to do.
So Bad. I was like, wait, geez, that's rude, man. But that's actually his name. All right. Walls put down. V-Tune again. But what can he really do? He has Wraith, but it's not going to necessarily help a lot in this case. It would mitigate some of the Ion Shell damage, but yeah, that was one of the question marks with the Lifestealer pick. It's like, it's good against some aspects, but then it's not great against others. And they are abusing this fact once again. Zani bottom lane. Taking the pressure from Doom, but applying it right back though, as here comes Spirit Breaker assisting. So bad on Spirit Breaker has in fact been the opposite. He's been so good. 3-0-3, been involved in all 6 kills for the team.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Even TPing bottom, you know, not going for that long charge, realizing he can help turn it around. And again, he's going for Undershock while GPK goes to heal the triple remnant in, and oh, so bad. Just giving the vision for that.
Whole 7 kills now he's been involved in. Yeah,
that's all the kills.
That's all the kills, yes.
Yeah, so it's massive props to this Spirit Breaker, really enabling the side of the Vega Squadron to get these kills across the map, and that's netted them an early 3k gold lead. That's nothing to sniff at when you're only almost 7 minutes in.
Yeah, that's an insane lead, really, that they have. And bottom lane, it could get better. A charge once again, Doom. There's 4 heroes now, though. Undershock comes in with a TP. They are going to get the kill on Doom, but at what cost? He had to pull in on Troll. Troll, no battle trance yet, of course, so they do find him as Spirit Breaker continues going further in, but he is going to charge away to safety. So good rotation from Storm Spirit. It's been so much early pressure, and that's exactly what Storm needed to do. He hits level 6, and he is down there on the net worth chart too, so rotating in, helping to get a kill on Troll, and he's going to fly back in, but Troll just TP'd in. Fate's Edict on Oracle, trying to run away from this, gets shackled up though, and they are going to finish him. Not much more Troll could do there. So Storm, he is making up for what seemed apparently to be a little bit of a struggle in that mid lane. Of course, some supports helped, but Ember Spirit certainly has won this lane now.
Yeah, I really like, we said in the draft we wanted Undershock as soon as he hit level 6 to make those rotations, to get those kills, and that's exactly what he did. The side of Vega, you know, they just weren't prepared for him to be rotating, and especially the fact that he sticks around here in the bottom lane is really good play for him, realizing, you know, I have enough left in the tank to be able to pick up another kill on this Oracle with the 3 heroes that remained in the bottom lane.
Top
so
lane
really
again.
nice work by him.
Oh, he infests the creep. They can't deal with it, so Lifestealer will be fine now. He pops out. Yeah, they're not afraid to use this hero, or the wall that is from Darkseer so early on. They use it. V-Tune goes down. The Nether Strike already from Spirit Breaker. He's level 6. I mean, that's huge, honestly, for Spirit Breaker to be level 6 already at this point in the game, let alone the farm that he has.
Yeah, it's before the tome even comes out, and very often you see these roaming 4 positions in real trouble experience-wise, as So Bad might finally give away some intelligence over here to Screen.
Charge?
Is he going to survive? He can't charge until the Arcane Curse is over.
Yeah, he is turning.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Almost. Nope, but he bought a lot of time, and look at this. GPK comes in, he just melts Rasta with that double damage in, and now Lifestealer's like, are you kidding me? He's going to try to walk away, and he will be successful with that. So yeah, even with the death on Spirit Breaker, he buys all of that time to eventually set up the turn from Ember Spirit.
And with this double damage rune, they're going to be able to take this top tower. And this is another classic combination with the Darkseer that we talked about. Flame Guard, Iron Shell. You know, they've just done so much work with Last Hero, and you can see his impact when you look at the net worth. He is #1 in the net worth and has got 4 kills to his name. It's just great work, and I'm sure if we can see the amount of damage he's done, it's probably at #1 in the map.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, will not be surprised there. Spirit Breaker charging in mid. Just here to pick up some farm though. Storm Spirit, again, very underwhelming. In fact, he's basically the same net worth as the Spirit Breaker on the other side. That's things, you know, when a game is not going too well for you. It's, stuff like that will really rub it in as 10-minute enemies are about to spawn. Silencer was in an area to pick this one up, but little do you know, there's plenty of heroes here to defend it, and they're also going to catch up to Rasta. And they're going to get all 4 bounty runes. Dear God, this is just absolute massacre right now from Vega Squadron. They are putting on a clinic.
Yeah, and they're not stopping. They find Sonoy in the trees over here.
He's dead. Who are these guys? Like, I wasn't kidding. I really don't recognize most of these names outside of maybe J4 on this team. But holy crap! I mean, they're playing well as a team at least.
I mean, the tempo that they are running at. You know, the side of Pries, they just were not prepared for this tempo at all. And just the identification that you're able to kill a Lifestealer under his own tower again and again and again. You know, usually you think you get lucky once, but how many times has this Lifestealer died? He's died 3 times to this combination of heroes, and it's Vega Squadron. They realize what they are able to accomplish, and they're just really playing this up-tempo game. And I think Storm Spirit is probably next.
He's dead. He's 100% dead right here. He's going to be rooted up, stunned in place, gets bash proc. Sleight of fist hits. It's the timings continue. Even the tip on top of that really going to rub it in. Vega Squadron feeling themselves as they should be. Like I said, the word earlier, they're putting on a clinic. I was surprised to see them as the #1 seed out of Group B, because like I talked about, I just really don't recognize much of this roster. But after seeing what we're seeing here, okay, I'm not surprised anymore. They deserved it, and this is going to be a uphill battle this series apparently for Pries Gaming, who's proven to be very solid themselves. But the momentum, 7,000 net worth at 11.5 minutes. Like, how do you recover from this if you're this dire team? It is a Midas build on Lifestealer, and he queues up the Radiant, so he wants to get this farm in, but that Radiance is so far away at this point in the game, it feels like.
Yeah, in the bottom lane, the Oracle does pop his ultimate a bit before the Doom comes out. So it looks like both teams, they've expended a few spells, but I don't think there's really going to be any, except for the Silencer. Sorry, Silence on the side, as any major kills here.
Yeah, that was an aggressive false promise. That was I'm going to false promise you to purge you, if anything, just to go get some kills. But then the ward trap came out, and that kind of stalled their chase. But they did get the 1 kill in Silencer, and now they are just going to go for the tower. That's the thing with false promise. I mean, I guess right now it's a fairly long cooldown, so that goes against what I was about to say. But it goes down to 45-second cooldown at level 3. So later on, it actually is really good.
Yeah, you could just remove it to remove any stuns, so you're able to continue your aggression. They surge forward the Ember Spirit, and he's found through them. They pop the Doom on top of it.
He is doomed up, but Ember Spirit just going to walk away. Global Silence coming up from the Silencer as well, but as soon as that wears off, now it's Vega Squadron's turn. I mean, even Ember Spirit's still assisting with some auto attacks. He's not too worried, still dead. He's going to charge back in. Storm Spirit caught by some roots. He eventually gets taken out. Silencer, same story for him. He's like, all right, might as well be useful. Put some wards down. As he goes down, though, and oh boy, GPK wants to keep going in. He's going to chase after Doom into the base, finally deciding at the end is here, though, and we'll just clear the creep way. But they're going to make their way back down to the bottom Tier 1 tower, mind you, that's still up, as Vega Squadron was diving all the way to the Tier 3 tower and doing it successfully.
Yeah, the aggression that the side of Vega Squadron are able to put out without being punished now is very scary. You know, the Lifestealer, V2, he is doing the right thing. What they have to do to get in this game is wait until his Radiance, and I think that's when they can truly fight. But, you know, you use the Doom on the Ember Spirit, and you expect to be able to get a kill on him. But what I think that really was, it was just a defensive Doom, because, you know, if they hadn't kept the Ember Spirit back, I think they would have lost even more than just the Storm Spirit, because he would have rampaged through to their back lines.
Lifestealer. Okay, he's fine. Saw that charge coming in. They do have vision spotting the initial charge from Spirit Breaker, a couple of wards. Drums at least finished on Doom, so they have some sense of a fighting item earlier in this game. But even Storm Spirit is still looking for his first item, essentially. He's got a bottle, power treads, and he's working on that Kaya, which is a good item, but it's not like a threatening item, especially this late on in the game. Usually you'd want that Kaya early on, and then that's when a snowball can take place from Storm Spirit. But he is still going for it, as he was trying to set up on Ember Spirit, but Ember Spirit's way too slippery.
Yeah, I mean, I think they both have a lot of vision on each other. But GPK, they have an idea that the Storm Spirit's here thanks to this rune over here. But they're just going to force him back by showing the Spirit Breaker and the Darkseer. Both these heroes know you cannot fight into this combination. They've shown exactly what they are capable of. Yeah. And it's so bad, by the way. He's not even that far away from his own Atos. So even more lockdown going to be there for the side of Vega Squadron.
That's a Silencer found, and oh, that never feels good. When your Silencer pops Global Silence to try to save himself and he just dies anyways, I feel like we see that way too often, honestly. It just can't happen. I mean, that's a 2-minute cooldown. It's so greedy of a play, and then he just dies after the fact. So either way, Lifestealer, he's being charged at the bottom lane. He already used his Infest right here. GPK is thinking about going back in, but Charge cancel. Doom and Rotha making their way over. Spearbreaker, can he maybe save his teammate now? Ember Spirit even going to be doomed up. They really want this kill, and damn it, they're going to get it. That feels good, at least, for Pries Gaming, one of the very few positives that they've had in game 1 of this series. That's a streak going the way of Lifestealer, and he does get that much closer to the Radiance now, so that's the one opening that they do have.
Yeah, that was a big kill that they really did need. Undershot. Oh. Just great play. They used the vacuum so that he's not able to zip away from that charge. That's just so good.
That's a Guardian Greaves.
I love how, we're just saying how good it is. It's so good. The play is, but it's coming out from so bad.
I know. It's almost like he chose that name ironically. That's a bold decision to have a name like that. But yeah, we just saw Darksteer, by the way, use Guardian Greaves right there. We weren't even 16 minutes. He basically got Guardian Greaves at 15 minutes into this game. And he even went a Soul Ring and a bottle on top of that. Like, this wasn't like he just absolutely rushed it, but even if he did, that's a crazy timing.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, he's got these very quick Guardian Greaves, and I don't think he's going to be that far away from a pipe. And all the damage that's going to be coming out from the Dire side in, like the next 5-10 minutes, it's going to be magical. This Lifestealer, he's not going to hit very hard. He's going to rely on his Radiance and his tank ability, Storm Spirit, pure magic damage. So with the Guardian Greaves, with the Oracle behind them, and this pipe, I just don't know how they're going to be able to kill anyone with Vega Squadron unless they truly overextend.
Oh my god, a rod of Atos picked up by Spearbreaker? Are you kidding me? This game's over. Like, I rarely do this where I call a game at 17 minutes into it, but unless Vega Squadron just completely loses their mind and just starts diving one by one, there is really no way Pries wins this game. Like, the items that they're building together, you mentioned the eventual pipes even going to be coming out for Darkseer shortly enough. They just got the Aegis on Ember Spirit. Something tells me this game's going to be over in the next couple of minutes. They're going to use the Sages, continue to be aggressive, and it's going to be too much for Pries. Hope I'm wrong for the sake of a longer game, but I don't see them coming back here.
I always like to have hope while Shadow Shaman has been caught by the Atos. Oh, yes.
Not that hope.
I don't like it when my hope gets shattered into small pieces, and Pries, they probably don't like it when the same thing happens to their Shadow Shaman. But, there is always the possibility of Vega Squadron overextending, not respecting this global silence. As, the Zip TP, he will be okay with that.
Bouncer, not so safe. Run at last hero with a godlike streak.
When was the last time you saw a Darkseer with a godlike streak? It just reeks of the impact that he's had. Again, he's still number 1 in net worth for good reason.
Yeah, 9-0-8. What is that, 17 kills? He's been involved in 17 of the 22 kills this game. Yeah, pretty damn good. There's just so many positives to talk about for Vega Squadron, and I'm excited to see. I'm always very excited and to be pleasantly surprised by a team that, like I said, I just have not really seen much before, don't have a lot of information on them, and they look this good. Like, it just really goes to show you just how much talent is out there. This is the last stand right here for the Dire team. Troll Warlord is locked down with the slants and everything. Again, Battle Trance, they are going to kill Troll, looks like the Lost Oracle as well. And so that's 2 kills off the bat for Pries. They're throwing everything at them, the whole kitchen stinking more. Ember Spirit manages to get away. Darkseer with the Guardian Greaves saves Spearbreaker as well as himself for now, as he pops a Surge. And Spearbreaker also charges out, so that's at least gives hope once again for Pries Gaming. Radiance, a Lifestealer, catching up to the Spearbreaker. Bulldoze activated, but Spearbreaker is cut down. V2 on a killing spree himself of sorts. All right, they used everything, and it worked in that fight right there, at least.
Yeah, it's a really good high ground defense there. They lose their tier 3s, but the smoke up for the reveal of the Blink Dagger War Stomp on Doom was really which set everything up. They had a lovely Serpent Ward coming out as well. The Spiritbreaker, he didn't charge because he didn't want to give vision of where he actually was because he was so low, but because he didn't complete that charge, it meant he wasn't able to get far enough away from the Lifestealer. They did manage to preserve the Aegis. I really thought GPK was going to lose it when he was affected by the Doom. But still, a really good high ground defense. We're seeing a little bit of what the Dire lineup is capable of. And now, if you're able to repeat that 1 or 2 more times, they can be back in the driver's seat.
Well, they did 100% everything they need to exactly do in these fights. So really is props to Priest with that fight. The global science to start, the then kill shortly after onto Oracle. You mentioned Doom activated on Ember Spirit. Those are the things that they need to accomplish in these fights if they want to win them. Because if one of those things doesn't happen, then I think Vega Squadron easily does turn in that fight. And that could have been the GG push. But it wasn't. Good execution from Priest. And they keep hope alive. The net worth lead is still growing, in fact, for Vega Squadron. But this life stealer is getting some good farm. As I mentioned this, he gets caught in the net strike. Gonna come to TV. Open window for bash. Oh no, doesn't get the bash. Okay.
Oh, that was 4 hits without a bash. That was pretty close. That's you know, 7. He just wasn't hitting that bash button properly. But they will find this Storm Spirit on the backline. GPK.
Yeah, Undershock, not nearly the Storm Spirit performance that we saw earlier today in the previous series, in a much more difficult game. And so Lifestealer, sure, he's getting some okay farm, but can't really do it himself. And it kind of goes back to their lineup as well, but hold that thought for a second. Global Silence used, run away from the Radiant team. Storm Spirit dives in, they're going for the Troll Warlord. But Oracle is going to be able to cast now. There you go, the False Promise comes out. And here we go with Troll Warlord looking to do some beatdown. Turning around with auto attack. GPK also fighting out with the Sleight of Fist. Coming back in with a Remnant. Down goes Doom. Storm Spirit stuck on the ledge up here, by the way. He doesn't have mana currently. Just trying to still make some plays. He has a Clarity currently used, but V2 is on the run. Can he maybe stay V2? I don't think so. He can't even get over here. He's going to get out himself. Lifestealer having a man up. Eventual death for him, and now he's out for a full minute. Spirit Breaker's even charging back in. No, not going to catch up, though, in time. So, but, yeah, you saw the False Promise come out, and if that's able to be used, then it really is going to be a difficult task to win the fights.
Yeah, this time they initiate with the Silence, but they're a tiny bit too far away from them. They have the Shadow Shaman flanking from behind, from over there, but, you know, they're just not able to repeat that fight, and it means they do lose a whole bunch of their heroes, and they're not able to get the kill. Interesting enough, they did doom up the Troll Warlord, but to me that felt like it just allowed the Ember Spirit to do whatever he wanted to do in the fight. And, you know, when this Ember Spirit's left alone, then you are going to lose the fight.
I think that's more on Ember Spirit, though. He positioned himself much more appropriately, made sure not to let Doom do him. This fight continues, though. Spirit Breaker even buys back, buyback and Rasta. Lifestealer with a dieback, by the way, and so is Doom, and they just called it GG. Yeah, they really were on the last stand for a while, and they made it last maybe even a bit longer than I expected, but it is just way too much for Vega Squadron. So, man, they looked clean. They played it well. I do think there is a little bit of an outdraft argument here. I really like the Darkseer pick, and that Lifestealer final pick, it felt a little off. It was okay in the lane phase in the sense of last hitting, but especially when Silencer got out of there because he was just having so much trouble, then all of a sudden he's 2 versus 1 against a Spirit Breaker Darkseer, and they abused it. So props to Vega.
Yeah, it's exactly like you said. They massively abused the Silencer in the top lane, and that meant he could no longer go to the top lane. That leaves your Lifestealer by himself, and, you know, you think Lifestealer is survivable, but no. So bad, and last hero, they pressured V-Tune. You know, I was going to say out of lane, but he never left the lane. They just pressured him, so they were able to kill him multiple times. And then you have this Darkseer who's massively overfarmed, massively overleveled, giving this Iron Shelter so bad. He rotates to the other lanes, gets them a whole bunch of kills. And then from there, it was just a snowball for the side of Vega Squadron. Pries, we saw what they were able to achieve with a perfectly executed team fight, but it's so much to ask for every team fight to be executed perfectly.
It is, and I almost fear for Priest Gaming, honestly, moving into game number 2, because if Vega Squadron plays any bit like they did in game 1,